Hey, everybody, welcome back to Real Estate Uncensored. I have Mr. Nick Sack as my trusted co-host who's going to kick butt, take names, and then write them down and give them back to you because you're going to have to pay for it for all the knowledge you're going to get on this show. We have Jamar.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to introduce him. Nick's going to do the intro. He is the crypto king, real estate mogul. This guy knows what he's talking about. So if you guys want to learn about crypto, crazy stuff in real estate, where it's going to go, this is your show. Nick, take it away. Give us our intro to our guest.
Yes, sir. So I was joking in pre-show that this is like my two favorite people of all time, my two best friends that we've never met in person.
That's what we're talking about.
Known for the longest time and never actually met in person. But for any of you who've listened to the show in the past 2 or 3 years, if you've heard me drop any knowledge about cryptocurrency, it all came from this guy down here, Mr. Jamar. He is my go-to when it comes to all things. And we say crypto, but really not just crypto. I mean, he knows everything from traditional markets. He was in the real estate industry. He had a big real estate team. That's kind of how we got. That's actually how we met, right?
Yeah.
In like
That's
10 years
how
or
we
so
connected.
ago, right? Yeah, we connected.
I was admiring your marketing.
Yeah. So back then, when I had my first Facebook group, he came in, and then we just kind of hit it off. So pay attention, guys. Like Jamar is one of the smartest guys I know when it comes to finance. He has a huge community, the DCG mastermind. So like, we'll let him talk about that. But like, I'm honored to have him on. It's been a long time coming. We've talked about it for a while. And I felt like it was a really good time because we're in an area right now where there's instability in mortgages and bankings are collapsing. Like, so I'm like, Jamar, you got to come on and help us out and give us a clear picture. How can we talk to our buyers and our sellers and give them a snapshot so that we can sell more homes, so we can list more homes, and just have a better idea of what's going on in the economy. So, Jamar, I'll let you kind of take it away, man.
Hey, thank you for having me. And it's a pleasure and honor to be here. 2008, 2009, I became a full-time trader. I transitioned out of real estate, and I transitioned into the trading environment. And my goal was to actually buy low, sell high, the same way that we do in real estate. I'm looking at the economy now, and when everyone else is seeing, appearing that, hey, things are changing, that actually creates opportunity. I got into trading during 2008, 2009, which was the best time to get into that area. But I was in real estate and I had all these expenses. The entire real estate landscape changed because of the financing, because of the economic crisis that we were going through. And there's always an opportunity to expand. And I think with education and the energy and how we, perceive what's going on, they always say, when everybody else panics, that's the opportunity to buy. And when everyone else is euphoria, that's the time to sell. We're in a time where we're seeing, large banks implode. We see the government doing everything they can to save banking. And it seems like every 12 to 15 years we go through some type of crisis. For me, COVID it was a great opportunity. I mean, outside of the health scare, but on the business side, it was an opportunity because it forced people to reevaluate, what they were doing. And same thing with during that time, I actually bought property during COVID, taking advantage of the panic that was in the market, and then also being able to, put your money to work. And I think right now, guys are taking money out of the banks. I see a lot of people buying luxury homes, spending a lot of money in real estate. Where I live is in Southern California in Temecula. We call it wine country, and there's big plots of land, and they're all over, 1.5, 2 million. They're not on the market long, and that's because people are scared to keep their money in the banks, and so they're actually dumping it into real estate. The stock market, the volatility that creates opportunity. Of course, things are moving fast, which volatility also creates opportunity. So, one of my things with the mastermind is leveraging intelligence. My goal was to get traders and entrepreneurs all together, and so we can actually evaluate the markets and take advantage of it. And I think real estate agents, guys that are in finance, this is kind of the perfect opportunity where when there's instability in the markets, I always say the cream rises to the top. We see that in the stock market as well. When there's instability in the market, the strong companies rise to the top, which makes the opportunities a lot easier to find.
So let's talk about opportunities really quickly.
Right.
I mean, you had a very successful team in real estate. You transitioned out of that into a trader, like you stated.
Right.
When it comes to opportunities, what's something that you look for when it comes to an opportunity that might not be traditional? Is it the opportunity cost? Is it the lack of opportunity cost? Is it just doing some research and seeing what I call it blue water hunting versus red water hunting? Like, are you trying to be in blue water all the time where nobody else is, so you can take advantage of the opportunity, then see the market shift, then dump it, and then move into another asset class? What does that look like for you?
For me, it looks like I always say volume. It's like, where's the volume going? Because that's where the activity is at. And if you can actually take advantage of, like right now, everything is flowing toward AI. Things were flowing towards crypto, right? There's an opportunity where you have more people are looking for options and they're looking for alternatives, and money is being placed there. And so now it's creating value and creating, pinpointing, not ignoring where the trend is going. A lot of people they go against the trend, and there's opportunity in going into the trend. Even when the tech bubble in 2000 and everyone was floating towards the internet, there's a lot of millionaires that was created, even though the companies bellied up. There was opportunity there. When COVID hit, people were moving to the, in the inlands. They were going to Idaho and Iowa, and they were trying to get in the middle of the country and just get more space.
Mm-hmm.
It created opportunity, and some people, they fail to see it and spot it quickly. There's a lot of opportunity in trading. There's a lot of opportunity in luxury real estate right now. In commercial real estate, you see that, it's at a low, and so money is moving there. If you follow the money, you'll see the opportunity, and that means that there's activity that the majority is going to get in late, and you're going to be selling to them.
Awareness.
Yeah. I went to a conference a number of years ago with my father. We call him the Grand Master here on the show because he's been in the business for like 50 or 60 years, some stupid number, right? And I went to a conference. We went to Dallas, Texas, and we're sitting there. And I talked to this guy sitting next to me. I'm like, so what do you do in real estate? He's like, I buy trailer parks. I'm like, what? You buy you buy trailer park, like a single trailer? He's like, no, I buy the whole park. I'm like, what? And I was like 20 something. So forgive the ignorance at this point.
Right.
And he's like, I'm like, why would you buy that? He's like, Greg, they're tin cans that spit out money. And I'm like, oh, in my brain, that makes sense.
Right.
And so that is kind of correlating with what you're saying, Jamar, is the fact that looking for opportunity in places that are not traditional. A lot of folks in real estate say, well, I have to have my face on a sign in front of a house. I have to have X market share. I have to have this many buyers, this many sellers. That's success. But what if you can do it a different way? What if you can do it in somewhere where they aren't looking, right?
Right.
And that's the fun hunt, right?
That's a fun hunt. And that's also, I think to be in trading, you have to be abnormal. To be in a market where there's a lot of competition, you have to think abnormally. You can't think normal. So I think we were talking about just the time, people are moving out of their large homes and they're worried, and then they're going to smaller homes. I've seen guys here that are turning minivans into mobile homes, right? Where they're living out of their mobile homes and they're traveling the country, and they're like, hey, I'm selling my property. I'm just going to drive. I'm just going to drive the country for a couple of months. And they're living out of vans, but they're actually paying a premium for their vans. So some people are like, well, do you want to be a real estate agent, or do you want to make money selling, homes? And now the homes are changing. It's tiny homes. There's when glamping came out, I've seen a lot of people buying, luxury camping. They call it glamping.
Glamping.
And and that was an opportunity that, it still is, and people, fail to see it.
Well, that's because they're not looking. It's like when you're not looking for a red car, then you want a red car, then you see red cars everywhere.
Right.
It's just shifting your mindset. Nick, I know that you've gone through a lot of transitions in your careers and in life and everything else. When you started looking for something different, I know we've all watched you lose a ton of weight. Jamar's on the same path, which Jamar, dude, knuckles, man. We talked about your numbers earlier, but that was awesome. Nick, when you started looking for weight loss and you started looking for different things in life, how fast did they appear?
Immediately, right? It's all controlled. So what Jamar, me and Jamar jive a lot with the controlled chaos and functioning at a very high level. And I don't want to call it like the seat of our pants, but like having, I mentioned awareness before. So this kind of reminded me of like what Jamar was talking about of opportunity. I saw a clip like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, and it was Gary V and his director of operations who does all his media buying. And it was like a quick fireside chat thing on TikTok or Instagram or something. And it was like one of the caption that got me, it was like the best marketing channel of all of April, whatever the time frame was, I forget. And so I clicked on that because I wanted to know, right? I'm still a media buyer. I do a lot of paid advertising, and I'm like, so what's this channel? What I need to look at? And it was fucking fortune cookies. They had a company that they bought like all of the fortune cookie inventory that was available and like 20x this company's sales because they put a call to action in a fortune cookie. And I don't even remember what the company, I was just like, a fucking fortune cookie? Like, but that it was so abstract, out of the box. And the point to that was it was so cheap to buy that fortune cookie media,
Right.
whoever was the main owner, because nobody's paying attention to it. Right. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, I'm just saying, did they actually buy in the fortune
Yeah,
cookie?
the messaging in the fortune cookie. So
Okay.
whatever the conglomerate is that does most of the fortune cookies, like they bought the rights to put the call to action for whatever company they were working with, and it had to do with I don't know if it was a brand of like sportswear or something. But anyway, they like 20x their ad spend. So like they say they bought it for $100,000. Like, here you go. They 20x in fortune cookies at restaurants all over the country. Like, that's crazy.
I want to double down on that real quick. It probably been about at least 10 years. I had the same idea. I was at a restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, and I saw the fortune cookie and I opened it up and it was a stupid message. I'm like, there's got to be a way to do custom fortune cookies, right?
Yeah.
So
every agent's typing right now. I can hear the keyboards already.
Dude, I went out and bought, I think, 20,000 fortune cookies. Yeah. And I went to my favorite couple of Chinese restaurants and I gave it to them. I'm like, here. And it had my name and I had some sort of stupid message on it and then my number on the back, right? As a lot of numbers, but it was like, your lucky numbers are my phone number. Dude, we had so many phone calls from that. It was ridiculous.
And you stopped doing it because it worked.
It worked so well. I stopped doing it.
Yeah, it works so well. You stopped doing it. We love to do that.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean, that's awesome. But the idea is that we can have in this time when people couldn't leave their house, and imagine you had a barcode and they basically put something in the sky that had a barcode where you could take a picture of it on your phone, and it basically goes to your website. Yeah. To eliminate the cost for a realtor. I used to put billboards in different places in Phoenix. And now we had a technology where we can actually just put a light up with a barcode and everyone can see it. And they would actually go to the barcode and take a picture, right?
So it's the bat signal for real estate
signal.
Or for investing, right?
Yeah.
Here's another thing. And Jamar, tell me if I'm completely fucking nuts. All right.
Yes.
Shut up, Nick. So here's the thing. Let's say you have a little bit of money and you're in maybe a rural area, or like Jamar, you're in your wine country, right?
Right.
All the farmers, they need a little extra money. All the winemakers need a little extra money. What if, hypothetically, if you check with your county and your state regulations, you go out, and this is something I've been wanting to do up and down I-5. And Nick, have you been to California, Nick?
No.
Okay, so Jamar knows I-5. It's a major thoroughfare. It's a big interstate, right? And it's just a lot of just fucking nothing out
Your
there.
land.
Like, it is nothing. There's cow shit, and there's, truckers and restaurants. That's really it, in gas stations.
Gas stations.
But you have millions of cars that travel up and down that thoroughfare. So I'm thinking, all this empty land, what do you do with it? I'm like, what if I went to a rancher and I said, look, I will buy or rent a 10 by 10 piece of land. I will put up a billboard that will cost me about $1,000 to put up. And then I will put an ad on this thing every 200 yards, 300 yards, whatever it is. So it's repetitive, both on north and south. Now, I'm winning. The landowner is winning. I don't own the land. I'm renting it. So if it goes south, I can just take my sign and give it to another landowner, but I get visibility times a billion. What do you guys think about that?
Billboards aren't bad, dude. I mean, yeah, it's visibility. It would just be the matter of what's the cost, right? How can you, everybody goes digital, so the cost of digital is very cheap, but we have a lot of guys right now going back to direct mail because direct mail is working really well. So it's just a matter of weighing out the options, seeing what's available, but being aware enough to know that there's other channels other than just Facebook marketing. I love Facebook marketing. I love YouTube. I love TikTok, like all those things. But if you find yourself taking courses as an agent on all the most trending things that another agent did 6 months before you and now is selling your course, that's kind of a tough thing to do, right?
I'm not gonna.
I think relationships still matter. I think the problem with marketing today is that the attention span is so short.
Yeah.
So even putting billboards up now, most people are driving in their car on the phone still.
Yeah.
And they don't look up.
They don't, but you can also put like a geofence around that billboard, so once they pass it, they get pinged on their smart device to look at the opportunity. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, but we can go down a rabbit hole on this. I really want to talk about banking, crypto, the crash of SVB, here in Silicon Valley. Where is this going? How is this going to impact people? What can real estate agents do to protect themselves? I mean, walk us through this, man.
Join DCG. I'm going to speak from first. Yeah, that's the first thing. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I mean, we have a mastermind and we discuss this stuff all the time. I mean, for what we believe that's happening, it is a reset, and we think we're moving to really a digital. I mean, in July there's a CBDC, central banking digital currencies that's going to be prevalent. And we have the Fed now wire. All the banks are changing their systems, and I think people aren't really aware, and they think maybe it's just a conspiracy. But the whole SV, the Silicon Valley Bank was really the government caused it. Raising inflation rates, they were heavily invested in government bonds, and that's what caused them to go bankrupt. But it was only the crypto companies that they were after, right? Ones that supported the crypto, and they're trying to take control over it. And it's no different than regulation. Even with in real estate, guys are being impacted by the Airbnb kind of regulation and control measures that counties are putting in, and it's changing the landscape of the economy. In the future, I believe that we will have a digital dollar. I mean, the dollar is already digital. Mostly every transaction a real estate agent does it's all wires. Yeah. Right. And so it's all digital already. We're already in a cashless society. There's a change that's happening in mortgage and real estate. Through the blockchain, I believe you'll be able to buy a house a lot faster, and it'll be a digital transaction completely through smart chain. And so the economy right now, it is any transition, is going to cause stress. And I think the markets are getting stressed. The inflation is going up. I know that, a lot of homes are falling out of escrow now because the qualification process, is getting harder, and the inflation is the credit card debt is going up. The cost of goods are going up. The amount it's required to, qualify for traditional loans, is difficult. So I think there's a there's a press in the economy, and I think real estate agents, are starting to feel it as well. I can't speak on the real estate agents, but I know that that was one of the reasons in 2008, 2009 that I had all this overhead. I had 3 offices in Phoenix. I had over 60 agents, and I had a big operation, marketing. It was taking longer to close. All the houses were in short sale. And so it was like, it was an opportunity. It said, hey, I can downsize now. Basically, the houses that I had, luckily I was able to, most of the houses were paid off. But, the guys that were squeezing, we're getting squeezed. And I think right now we're in an economic squeeze. The same way that, we had COVID, we had all this free money flowing around. It's coming back around where, you have to be able to generate income to actually keep up with the inflation, keep up with the rates rising. And the guys with cash will, unfortunately and fortunately get richer. The guys that don't adjust, they will be impacted heavily by what's going on. So I don't think it's just 3 banks. I think there's a lot of banks that are in trouble. And, what happens if you aren't able to access your cash for a week? What happens? And what, backup plan do you have?
Yeah.
And so to me, it is smart to diversify and learn. Even being in crypto for me, I trade all markets, stocks, options, futures. Our mastermind is trading there, but I'm also getting consulting gigs for $5 and $10 grand a month just to be on the board because they want to know how do they adjust? How do they, implement NFTs? How do they accept payment in digital currency? What type of blockchains do they need to be on? Making just those basic decisions is that they get experience. So for real estate agents, it's like during this time when everything slows down, how are you getting ahead and how are you going to take advantage? With new knowledge, because it goes knowledge, attention, and then monetization.
Yep.
If you're not getting new knowledge, we won't get new attention and you won't be able to monetize it. But if you get new knowledge, you get new attention and then you're able to monetize it. And that's a proven model over time.
There's so much to unpack on that conversation.
Yeah. We're gonna have Jamar back for sure.
I'm literally taking notes as fast as I possibly can right now. I mean, blockchain is something that we actually interviewed the guy. It was about 2 or 3 years ago at this point, or if not more. He sold the first blockchain escrow company in California. And it was, I think he was actually.
Yeah, I think I met that. I mean, he was actually trying to figure out how to accept the payments and, as an escrow company.
Yeah, exactly. And he's a younger dude, right?
Yeah, he was about 28.
Yeah, younger, whitish dude. Couldn't figure out tech, but he kind of got the blockchain. He couldn't get his headphones to work on the podcast, but great interview. I want, dude, we got to have you back. I want to talk about NFTs. NFTs have been always something I'm very, very interested in, and I think they're fascinating. But with our couple of minutes left here, I want to talk about your mastermind and what that looks like. How do people get involved? Because I mean,
right,
in the short amount of time we spent time together today, we already know that you're a very intelligent human being, and very good looking man too. So guys, he's smart and good looking. This is a great combination. But talk to us about your mastermind and kind of what people would get out of that, because people are always looking to learn when they're a part of our show.
So there's levels to everything that we do, and for me in general, even as a real estate agent, there's levels, and there's levels to trading in the mastermind. First, there's learning, then there's profit and strategy, and then there's third, it is lifestyle. A lot of people they get I guess coerced into, hey, let's make money, let's live this lifestyle, or let's get into crypto, or let's get into trading, let's get into real estate. You can make a lot of money, and they always skip that first step of level 1, which is getting the knowledge, learning, right? Crawling before you start walking, right? It's like a baby. You don't just go and start getting the game and start sprinting. And so for my mastermind, we had these 3 levels, and I bring them in. I call it a DCG trial, and it's basically a free, course of here's the foundations of what you need to learn in trading and crypto to adjust. And then once we get you through that level, we put you into the profit, monetization. Now we have your attention. You've been through the first stage, which we don't charge you at all. And then this is all right. Now you get to be in the mastermind with other traders because you're going to learn more from the experienced guys. I have so many people that says, "Oh, I'm going to read books and I'm going to watch videos on how to trade, how to adapt to the market." It's like you learn from the experience of other people, and this way your learning curve goes up a lot more, and you get into profit. You get to be profitable by following. When I was in real estate, the fastest way to money is to get on a real estate team that was already successful.
Yep.
There you go.
And it's the same thing in this market of crypto and blockchain and trading. You get with guys that are already doing it full time. They're living it. You'll learn so much more. That is what the mastermind is about.
That sounds that's so incredibly true. And for my experience, hanging around very intelligent people, that's the way I learned to do what I do now. Is I hung out with people way smarter than me, and my girlfriend. We went to a New Year's Eve party last year now, and she'd never played craps before, and she'd always wanted to play craps. And so she kind of researched it a little bit, but the most important thing, the takeaway in the story is the fact that when we sat down, we didn't sit down, we stood up next to the table if anyone's ever played craps. And she stood next to this dude, and this fool knew what he was talking about. Like, he was walking her through the steps. Like she was following his moves, and she was making money after money after money after money after money.
Right.
And she just didn't want to leave. The smile on her face was like as large as the Cheshire Cat. It was humongous. Right. And the point is that she learned from somebody in person, real world, instead of going to a YouTube channel, paying for a course. She went and actually took action. And I think that's what you're saying about your mastermind. You learn from masters of their craft. They're practitioners.
Right.
They're not just out there trying to sell a product or some other BS, right?
Right. And that's why our first step is free, because what is the thing that you must have if you want to be successful? You got to have the desire, right? Napoleon Hill talks about this. Mm-hmm. If someone wants to get into real estate and they just want the money, they're not going to be successful because they don't have the desire to do what realtors do.
Very true.
Right. If you're not willing to door knock and want to sit down with a homeowner, you're not going to be successful. Right. Mm-hmm. If you had the desire and, hey, I want to learn how to make money from home, I want to learn how to trade, I really want to learn it. Right. I don't want to just follow a signal. Now you had a desire. And once you have that desire, then it's like, all right, you go through this stage. We're going to give you all the information. Here's the steps that's required. And we're going to walk you through it. We have a live 24/7 support. We have a group. We have a course. There's no money there. And we call it the 7-day challenge, the 7-step challenge. And once you go through that process, then today, now do you want to join the mastermind? Do you want to be around other guys that are actually living it? And then we meet once a month in different places in the country to actually trade together, because then they can see that it's real. Right. So we just met in Carlsbad last week. We had a mastermind day trading live event where we sit there with new guys and more experienced guys fly into town, and we trade together. And we had, people making 3,000, 5,000 there in person, where it's like in a couple of hours, and it's like, oh, now it's real, because they're there and they're seeing the guys, touching guys.
No shit. Nick, you're kicked off the show because
I know, dude. I tried.
Tomorrow, okay? Son of a biscuit.
I've been hiding Jamar from Greg for a long time.
So every month we meet in different places. I mean, we'll be in Richmond, Virginia, April 28th. We'll be in Miami, May 20th. So every month, towards the end of the month, we meet in a different place in the country, and this is all just part of the mastermind.
But see, that makes so much freaking sense, because let's say you go make the mastermind is what, 2-3 days long? 1 day? How long is it? The
7-step challenge, that's free. You can be there as long as you want.
No. The one when you meet up, like how long are the personal meetups?
Overnight.
So let's say you go and you learn from Jamar and all of his gurus doing day trading, right? Which I literally don't know a damn thing about that, and that would be fascinating to learn. But what if you spent whatever it costs to be a part of the mastermind? You went there and you made $3,000 to $5,000 in 24 hours. And then you get your ass back on a plane and you come back and you take those skill sets and you do it every frigging day. Now that is it's not even a gold token to take away. It's a platinum token, circled in gold, wrapped, with the inner parts of silver. I mean, there's so much value there because life is shifting super quick for all of us in the world.
Super quick.
And if you can take that money, tuck it away somewhere, and let's say you work, I don't know how long it takes to do day trading. I'm just generalizing here.
Never trade more than 2 hours at a time.
Okay, there it is. 2 hours at a time, $3,000. Guys, that's $1,500 an hour that you're worth. That is fucking awesome. That is worth the investment. Jamar, we gotta go, but tell us, where do they go? What website? What phone number? How do they get in contact? How do they get in your sphere?
Right. So you can actually join the challenge, the free course, DCG Trial, DCGTRIAL.com, DCGTrial.com. And then you can actually find me on Instagram, Facebook. I use my real name. Everything I do, I stand behind it. It's Jamar James on Instagram and Facebook. And then if you ever want to schedule a call with me, jamarjames.io takes you directly to my calendar.
Perfect. By the way, I'm going to stalk you on Instagram now.
Yeah, do it.
Hey, so I've been learning a lot from Nick. The Instagram and TikTok. I'm not the best, but I'm there and I have a presence.
Dude, we're gonna help you get a bigger presence because this is something I think every real estate agent should do, some sort of day trading like this. If it's going to take 1 to 2 hours to do this, and then they take that capital. So let's say they take the capital, and you're better at math. So Jamar, do the math for me really quickly. Let's say they make $3,000 a day, 5 days a week. This is all hypothetical, everybody.
Hypothetical.
Times 30. What are we looking at on money here?
That's a lot of money, dude.
It's a lot of money. Just I tell them $1,000 a day, as an agent,
okay.
if you take an hour or two. And one thing about trading is you can leverage. So you can take 1,000 and leverage it 20x, and now you can be trading with 20,000. So you don't have to lose money. I mean, you can leverage and minimize your losses. That is what that's what it's really about, is having a place to leverage.
Yeah. That's the thing about, so let me chime in here real quick, right? It's not just about trading. So Jamar mentioned the desire to trade. The way that he approaches trading is the same way you should approach like your real estate business. There's fundamentals involved and there's schedules involved, but there's ultimate freedom. So if you're somebody who you love everything about real estate, but you hate the fact that you have no time freedom, then you are going to be drawn to Jamar and his message, because that's ultimately what DCG is all about, is 100% time freedom and control over your assets, right? Control over your time. So
ownership of your time.
Ownership of everything. But to also talk about the idea of, a lot of what he does is not just about trading. There's a lot of mindset involved. There's a lot of, he does Monday motivations. So there's a lot of things that, like, I guarantee, and here's my guarantee, called the Tommy Boy guarantee. Take it if you want it, whatever. He will make you a better real estate agent by being a better trader, because he's going to teach you the fundamentals of, getting up and getting motivated, and like, there's just so much behind it. Like, I hate to, when somebody asks me about crypto, I hate to say just, DCG is about crypto. It's about just becoming a better person in general.
Right.
It's just the wealth of knowledge. And being wealthy in general is not just about money. It's about time freedom. It's about your relationships with people, with relationships with your family, all of that. And everybody in that group is like, everybody's the same way, right? It's a big family, and I love it. So I don't know if I can give you much more.
Social currency is a big part of it, right?
What's that?
Your currency, your social currency.
Yeah, social currency and relationships.
Your health. Like, there's more than wealth than just money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you don't have health, wealth doesn't mean shit.
Right.
Not one bit. I mean, I know a lot of wealthy people that have crap lives because they eat wrong, they drink too much, they consume, narcotics.
Right.
I mean, they're trying to, dumb down the pain that they're feeling for the loss of their wife or their kids. I mean, because they screwed up their relationships. So that health messes with their wealth, and I would much rather have health versus wealth. But when you marry those two together, which it sounds like your group does,
right,
all of a sudden you have synergy that a lot of us have never had before, right? You feel comfortable in your own skin walking around. You know, you can buy that hamburger, that burger, that car for your daughter, pay
Right.
for the school for your son, whatever it is.
He
then you
literally
can go
just
back
bought
and
a
do it
Jeep
again.
for his daughter, by the way. Like,
Oh.
that's a funny thing you said that. He's like,
And that was their Christmas present. You know, she was
Well,
15, so when she turned 16, her car is in the driveway already.
yeah.
Okay, I got to ask, what kind of Jeep? This is my last question.
It was a Wrangler.
Figure.
Four-door
Wrangler.
Wrangler, yeah.
I told her she had to put some work in. You know, it's 30,000 miles, and I was like, "You're not gonna get a brand new car, but it's pretty
Humble a little bit, right? Yeah.
Yeah, humble a little bit." She thought she was gonna get a brand new one off the lot at 16. I was like, "Nah, maybe
Nah.
But-
The reason I ask is that I'm a Jeep guy. I have an SRT.
you got
And
you got the
so-
peace sign up, right?"
Oh, dude, that car will eat pavement and take names. I love Jeeps. I'll probably won't ever drive another car except for Jeep. I love those damn things.
They have their own culture.
They really do. They really freaking
Yeah.
do. All right, Jamar, we're gonna let you go. We got to bounce out of here. Again, best email, best phone number, and then we're bouncing out.
Right. JamarJames.io, directly to my calendar, and then dcgtrial.com to take our free course.
DCG
All right.
Digital Currency Guy, dcgtrial.com.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that for all dyslexics out there, which I am a proud card-carrying member of. All right, Nick, you have a job on the show. What's your color on the bow? So do you, Jamar.
Money
You pick a
green,
color.
baby. Money green.
Money green.
Money Gray.
All right. So, Jamar, what's your color? What's your color for the bow on the show?
Any
I
color.
like True Blue, but anything works.
All right.
See, man, I knew we were going to be friends. I'm a blue. My favorite color is blue too. So, all right.
Awesome.
All right, guys, this has been an amazing show. Go follow Jamar James on Instagram. Go take a look at all of his links that we're going to put in the comments down below. Also, what you've heard on the show. We're putting a money green bow, and we're also going to put a true blue bow on the show. So thank you guys for watching, listening, hanging out with us. We cannot, and I literally mean this when I say this, we cannot do this show without you guys. So we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Share this with everybody on all social media platforms because Jamar needs to get out there to be seen more and more and more and more. Nick is just too sexy not to be seen, and I'm just a schlep that hosts the damn thing. But we love you. We'll see you guys on the next show. Until next time, peace out, ninjas. We gone.